Hey, life groups. This past Sunday, we talked about giving up on one another. And we rooted ourselves in Ephesians 4:1-3. So I'm going to read that to you again. Paul is talking about the members of the church and the calling that that God has on our lives based on that. So he says in chapter 4, verse 1-3, "As a prisoner for the Lord, then, I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you've received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." And we kind of had three verbs that we looked at. We looked at to bear with, to tolerate, with humility, gentleness, and patience in order to continue to have relationship with others. And then we said to keep, which means that we already have unity. We already have this designed purpose inside of us, that we are to bear with one another, to keep the unity of the Spirit. And the third verb was with effort, that this is going to take practice. And I leaned a lot on John Mark Comer and the way that he understands practicing our spiritual formation in order to become more like Christ, bringing and putting on humility, patience, and gentleness. I used the visual of a marathon runner, someone who's never run before, waking up one day and saying, "I'm going to win a marathon today." Not going to happen, right? But if that person were to run a kilometer today and add a kilometer every single day for 42 days, they would be ready to run a marathon and be successful. So I push our community to think about the things that we need to practice in order to bear with our relationships, specifically in the church, because that's what Paul is writing about, specifically our relationships that are Christ-centered, that are leaning us and helping us to live into unity and love. So I hope that your conversations about this go well today, and just remembering that in sermons, things don't just happen like this, that tomorrow you're going to be the most humble, gentle, and patient person, and you're never going to have relationship breakdowns ever. It takes practice, and as we put on a lens of these things, it's going to help us recognize the relationships that are really important to us, that are really important to our likeness in Christ. So I hope that these conversations go well, and that we begin to recognize the relationships where we have given up and the relationships where we've been given up on as well.